Do they run to the microphone? Do they run to their computer and try to send out a tweet? Or do they run to people? In my service to our nation, every time that I was called, I showed up, even with one leg. As a leader in the nonprofit sector, I went to every hurricane, every wildfire, every tornado across Florida and across America over the last 8 years, give or take, and fed people one hot meal at a time. I stood on slabs that used to be people's homes and gave them a hand up and said, "We got you." You see, we have a mistaken concept that talking big is the same thing as leading big. It's not. If you can't walk the walk, you shouldn't talk the talk. I do both. You know, last June, remember when Iran and Israel kicked off and we had all those Americans trapped in the Middle East? I got calls from hundreds and then thousands of people who were trapped in harm's way, unsure if they'd ever get home. So on the day before Father's Day, I sat down with my kids and I said, "Boys, I know that you put a lot of work into this. You probably don't understand this yet because they were just babies when I was in the Army. I'm going to have to go do something, and I wouldn't be much of a man or much of a dad if I could go bring our people home and I didn't do it because of my own safety." So I got on a plane from Tampa. I flew from Tampa to Cyprus. From Cyprus, I flew to Jordan. And in Jordan, I did cross-border operations throughout that Middle East area. And I personally brought home 2,300 American citizens right back here in Florida. I didn't talk about it, I did it. The last thing that I'll tell you is important is where is their moral compass? Does it point to themselves, to enriching themselves, or does it point to the people? When push comes to shove and hard times happen, are they looking to serve the people, or are they looking to serve themselves? My entire life's work has been the same. I've been a public servant. I have run to the sound of problem, and I have put everybody else's welfare above my own. I signed an oath to defend our nation, our Constitution, and our way of life many years ago, even if it required that last full measure of devotion. Many times it came very close. But I stand here today to tell you that the mission remains the same. It is simply just a different battlefield. And together, we can chart a course that wins, that makes a difference for our families. Because when Florida wins, America wins. And when America wins, that's just how it has to be. We live in the greatest state, the greatest nation in the history of this planet. We got to keep it that way. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. And I'm looking forward to answering your questions. So what are they? Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Fashion Pierre. I'm a businessman here in Central Florida for 27 years.
What kind of business?
I have a printing business. And I would like to ask you a question. Answer me with your what's your difference between what's the difference between you and the actual government on immigration policy in Florida if you become the governor?
So the question is, if you guys couldn't hear it, what are the questions on immigration policy? Look, I will tell you this. My job is to serve the 23.5 million people of Florida. They are. You are the people I serve. Right here, right now. Period. I grew up in a very simple home. My wife's family, they came from the Middle East. See, my wife's family are Lebanese. And they fled a war-torn nation when they came here legally. There are some who are still trapped there. There are people who spent 30 years trying to come to America. We have to have immigration reform as a nation. What we've done is not a Republican problem. It's not a Democratic problem. It's an America problem. We have to do better. We do. My suspicion is there is a lot of discussion on TPS or TWS, temporary work. Look, as a federal thing, and we can impact that with how we do it, we have to be clear that there is a threat, there is a risk, and part of the problem is people don't know what they don't know, and they don't ask the right questions when the paperwork gets filled out, and nobody is an advocate for people who don't know the right thing to ask. I'm happy to line people up with advocates. I'm happy to give people the tools, and I'm happy to give them the opportunity to speak and explain the TPS and put the facts out there. Because when you find that, I think you can make a cogent argument that that should probably extend. I've been down route. I've been around Haiti. My wife deployed to Haiti when she started her military career. We understand where people come from. But I also want to tell you this, and I can sit here and lie to you like many politicians do and say, we're going to do this or we're going to do that just to get your vote. But I respect you more than that. I promise you. I'm going to tell you the truth. My job is to serve our citizens. My job is to stand up for your freedoms and your rights and protect us and protect our quality, our opportunity. Because as we know, opportunity and outcome, they're not the same thing. Opportunity is what our Constitution provides us. Outcome is up to you and what we do. And I got your back if you come here right. I got your back if you come here and you're not a citizen, but you follow the process. But I will tell you this, there is a lot of misinformation that's going out there. We got to stop the misinformation on radio, on TV. There are some things that are being put out that are simply not true. They are not shaking people down. They're not going places. And we're not rooting people out. We treat people with respect in Florida, no matter what. Our men and women in law enforcement, 99.9% of them, I bet you, do things right. And nobody holds those who do it wrong more accountable than those who do it right. Because, man, we're all sons and daughters. We're all citizens. We're all people trying to live our best life. So what I'll tell you is this. Difference, I think it's going to depend on how federal policy changes. My job is to serve our people and to uphold our Constitution and that of our federal government and to follow those orders. And I will do the right thing. But we're going to do it the same way that we've done this. And I have been on many raids. I've been out there with taking care of people. And I followed up in places like Alligator Alcatraz and Deportation Depot. Those were temporary structures. Those were nicer than any barracks I lived in the military, I can promise you. The beds were great, the food was good, and the air conditioning was chillingly cold. And there was a lot of BS put out. I would have slept there, no problems. I've slept in mud huts. I've slept in boxes. I've slept on pallets. I've slept in puddles on the ground. So I'm not afraid to do the hard right. But I want you to know this, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid that there are games being played. No one cares about your race, your creed, your color, where your family came from, your religion. We care that you're one of us, you're a citizen, and we're going to fight to protect you and your family. And if anything doesn't seem right, I would encourage you to talk to our law enforcement. I would encourage you to talk to the leaders. And if you can't talk to anybody else, I'm happy to talk to any of you and sit down and just speak the facts. But I do know this. The way we get past all of the misinformation as people is to call out the misinformation. We got to talk like this more and less on Twitter. Less on unchecked, unbiased, or biased information. We got to treat each other like people. Like this. This is how it's done. All right?
Right.
Next question. Sir, Richard.
Oh, it's you
Go ahead.
All right.
Sorry.
My name is Prosper Cynthia, the director of Radio Haitian Fabrico. I congratulate you for coming here to talk to our community. The question that I have, by coming here, that's been, you know that we exist. But I would like you to give us some details about how you will see us if you elected to become the governor.
I'm going to see you the same way I see you now.
In your agenda, how you will see the Haitian communities in Florida.
Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I'm an Army guy. I was a Green Beret. Do you think I gave a crap about someone's race, their creed, their color, their background? Whether you had a good family or a bad family, you were rich, you were poor, it didn't matter. We all bled the same. You know what's great about the military? It didn't matter. I literally went to war and I served beside people that didn't speak English as a first language, who came to this nation looking to become citizens. I served beside people who I'm not even sure if they were speaking English. I don't know what the heck they were speaking, but we could talk through other methods. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you want to sit down and have a conversation, I'm here now. I don't see anybody else doing it. I am unafraid to do what others don't do. I have always gone where others don't go. That's been my life's work. You know that as a Green Beret, we actually live in and around indigenous people everywhere we go. I've lived in the Colombian jungles. I've lived in the mountains of Afghanistan, in the deserts of Iraq. I've lived in little cities in Europe, in Asia, in places that most people don't even know exist. I have traipsed through the jungles, the deserts, and the mountains by myself, alone and unafraid. I don't care where people come from. If you want to sit down and have a seat at the table, you have a seat at the table. You have an open invite. I say what I mean. I mean what I say. And if you want to have a conversation, you want to work together to make a difference, well, this is the person, this is the time, and this is the way. It's that simple. You don't hide from it. Next question. Sir?
Sorry, yeah. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Collins, for stopping by.
Good to be here.
We appreciate you because as Haitian, we're all very prideful. We want to go to work, we want to start up businesses,
No, you do.
we want to own things, and we want to take care of our families, and we want to love our neighbors. That's who we are as people, and that's how we're going to continue to live our life. Part of the we all believe in homeownership.
American Dream, brother.
It is the American dream. We believe in it, and we've seen. I've been doing this in the past 11 years, and we've seen the way the real estate market has affected our community in a positive light. And there are two programs, right, that affects that sector of the economy, which is the Hometown Hero program currently on the table, plus the tax savings, property tax savings that Governor DeSantis is fighting for right now. How can you assure us that those programs will continue to go on? The Hometown Hero program, not only $50 million is what it's offering right now, we think it should be a little bit more. We think it should be $200 million or more.
Yeah, I don't know if we get the $200 million. It comes down to the budget. Here's my promise to you. We're going to keep those programs alive, but it's a math problem. We will to 137,000 and moving up like a power meter. It's crazy. We balance our budget. We shrink it every single year. But I will tell you what I want to do. We're going to continue to shrink the size of government. I believe deregulation is the single best thing we can do to free up the economy. I believe in empowering our local governments to lead in the local community. But we have to give guardrails. We have to give task, condition, standard. And then we got to let them lead. We are absolutely going to maintain those programs. I have no problem. But my real goal is to improve the economy to such a point that it doesn't even have to have a program like that to make it happen. I want us to be the state in the nation where anybody from anywhere can accomplish anything, as Marco Rubio put it so aptly. That's the American dream. That's what I believe.
Another part of that is the taxation, property taxation.
Yes, sir.
And we for that, right? Are you going to fight just as far as Governor DeSantis to push that through? There are a lot of arguments against it.
There are.
You know.
Yeah, so actually, I'm glad you asked this. Let's put some facts out. How many of you have heard kind of the discussion points on the property tax debate? You know, that it's going to hurt law enforcement, fire, roads, or education. Guys, we have worked incredibly hard at the state. You know, I'm the lieutenant governor of Florida. Dude, I am all in on property tax relief. I think owning your home free and clear of the government is what we have to get to. That is the American dream. And if the government can take it from you, you never really own your home. I believe that is the single most empowering thing we can do for an individual family. It is. Because you own your kingdom, your castle. And that's where you put down your roots. Yes, we're going to fight. But I also got to talk about the facts of this bill. This is an imperfect bill. And that's what frustrates me. Man, if all men were angels, we wouldn't need government. But all men are not angels. And sometimes politics gets in the way of what's best or what's right. When we put that forward, we wanted to have a much larger bite of the apple. In 27, it'll be $150,000. The first 150,000 of your home will be tax exempt. In 28, it'll be 250,000. There were two provisions on there that I thought were incredibly important. I would even say mandatory to do this right. Number one, you've got to protect our men and women in fire and law enforcement. Their budgets should not be put up or allowed to be played games with. You cannot. Dude, safety in the community starts with everything. It is. If you don't feel safe in your community, you're not going to build a great family. Great families build great communities because of safety. Small businesses thrive because of safety. An economy grows because of safety. And here's a promise. If people play games with their budgets and I'm the next governor, they're going to pick a fight with me because I have their back. Without equivocation. I will be there. The second part, and this is really important, we had a trust fund at the back end of that bill. That was for the 29 fiscally constrained counties. Did you know that Liberty County has 8,000 or 9,000 people in it? That's the whole county. There are literally subdivisions here that have 8,000 or 9,000 people or more. There's one across from my house in Tampa that has like 8,000 people. That's a whole county. We had that trust fund there not to give them a long-term subsidy because I hate subsidies because they pick winners and losers and someone always gets the short end of the stick, and I'm done with that. We need to be the place where opportunity exists for everybody from anywhere, anytime. And that's why that trust fund was so important as a short-term reset. So if I'm elected day one, we're going to have to likely put a special session together to really address those two things. I put it at 50-50 right now, whether this passes. They are already spending millions to try to kill this thing. If it does not pass, what I will tell you is we're going to go back to the well, but I'm going to sit down with all 67 counties. We're going to compare budgets, and we're going to agree to agree or agree to disagree. But either way, we are going to move forward. And I would like to do more for property tax relief. I would love to get to the point where if you pay off your home, it is free and clear of homestead or property tax. I think it's tenable. That is the American dream, and I want to see it happen. Great question, sir. Sir, go ahead.
Lieutenant Governor, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for taking the time to do the best. My question is, I'm a Bible publisher and designer, background in engineering, and I'd love to see the president emphasis on bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. And if you try to do something, it's extremely difficult without having to rely on China and all those things. So I want to know, what is your perspective and position with the federal government? Is it something that you'd like to see and more in Florida? Because I would like to see more engineers and more manufacturing design.
Well, I want to see a closed-loop system in America where we have everything we need to uphold our business world as much as possible. So we can pick and choose who we partner with, when we partner with it. We're not dependent on any other nation to be successful. Because right now, I look at the aluminum industry. Did you know that we are importing most of our aluminum? There is a 50% tariff on raw aluminum right now. There's a 22% tariff on finished aluminum goods. We are killing manufacturers right now. That's where it's backwards in certain places. We got to get that fixed because we're hemorrhaging jobs. We have to bring the entire industry back here. I would love to go left of this. I would love to see more smelting done safely, done in a way that's great for the environment because we have to keep our beaches, our farms, our green zones. And we can. It's far cleaner here than it is anywhere else. The net gain is awesome. But we have to bring that in-house. That's real jobs and real opportunities. Did you know that one singular shipbuilding facility in Florida would net 5,000 jobs on the coast, above 80,000, with benefits to start? So here's where I think it gets really exciting. There are another 25,000 jobs inland, above 65,000 to start, with benefits. And then the trickle down, everybody eats, because that trickle down economic approach works. When that money is ingrained in the economy, everybody moves reciprocally. So absolutely, we're going to push more manufacturing. But the biggest gap we have is actually in our education system. Let me tell you, we have had an inherent bias that you had to have a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD to be successful. And you don't have to. We have to embrace a few things. One is lifelong learning. I got my bachelor's degree between Afghanistan and Fort Bragg. I got my master's degree between Iraq and Fort Bragg, and I played with a PhD in multiple countries that tried to kill me in Fort Bragg. So if I could do that then, what can we do now? One. Two, there are three things I want to see in education. We have to protect our kids and their security differently to expand their thought process. Critical thought process, Socratic methodology, executive function. If we want our kids to be engineers, well then they have to be trained and competent in multi-system thinking in a linear and alinear pattern. It matters. We also have to bring back simple things. Whether you get out of high school and you go with a job, you go to the trade, you go to college, or you become an entrepreneur, you go into service. You should be prepared and ready. And that means that things like home ec, how to cook, how to clean, how to balance your account, life function, better be taught. Because not everybody has a great family. I did. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And my parents didn't know what they didn't know. We got to prepare those kids for what's to come. The third part is this. I want to bring back the trades to every high school in Florida. The average tradesman is 58. Those aren't engineers, but those are people who engineers need, who need creative facilities, right? Those are jobs that pay well, that provide opportunity. But here's what's cool. If it works for the trades, it works for nurses. Nurses aid. It works for law enforcement, fire, EMS, emergency manager. Not everybody has to have a PhD or a master's or a bachelor's. And it's okay. I am tired of people feeling like second-class citizens because they went and became a welder. You want to retire early, the best path may be welding. It may be AC repair. But I'll tell you what, we are in dire need right now across the state of Florida. You know, we're going to make sure. And let's talk about higher education. In the community to be the face of a local problem during disaster. What I want to see is an alignment of our economy with our education system, our universities, state schools, and high schools. When you project on a 1, 3, 5, and 10-year basis where the jobs are and where they're going, people can make great choices. And then we have for dollars, because here's how it works for me. It's about math. It's about return on investment. I don't have any sacred cows when it comes to schools. If you compete and you perform, you get more money. If you fail to perform, you get less money. That's how the real world works. Just because you think all the money's been there, it doesn't mean you can count on that moving forward. Because those who do the best get more. That's how life works. And when we do that, now we're going to create more engineers. You're going to see schools like UCF. UCF, man, they bat far outside of their weight class in terms of the money we give them. They perform very well. Same thing with FAU. Now, we're the #1 state for higher education in America right now. We have the #1 school in America in the University of Florida. But I want all of our schools in that top 30 or 40. We have to push for excellence in all we do. And this is the single most important nexus and core of what we can fix over the next 8 years. That is the hub of small business, a hub of our economy, and where we can make the best bulk, move, and benefits for our people. That's a great question. Sir, in the back.
Thank you. I am Joseph. I am the president of the Greater Haitian American Chamber of Commerce.
Good to meet you,
First of all,
Joseph.
thank you. I want to say, one, thank you for your service. Thank you for all you've done for us. From us coming from a different country to enjoy this freedom is because of your sacrifice, so we appreciate that. Number two, my question for you, you're running as for a governor right now.
I am.
You are currently the lieutenant governor.
I am.
Within the state of Florida, our business community is suffering. We are trying to run a business. There's so many of us in here, and minimum wage is going up, property tax is going up, taxes are going up, insurance is going up. I hear that you guys are doing owners that are in here. What do you plan on doing for the small business in Florida to help us survive and grow? Or are you gonna be helping, for example, I see our commissioner is sitting in the room, or are you gonna be working directly with them to make sure that they get the funding? Because when we have an event, as you can see, she's sitting right here with us. Are you gonna help them get the funding that they need so we can survive this era? Because as a business owner, we are dying. What is your plan? And give us something that you think that after the 4 years that might come out with a great result for us.
Well, first off, and that's a great question, Joseph. We have to be number one in business sustainment and business growth as well, right? That means we've got to also accomplish a few things. First off, permitting, it is not good enough, it is not fast enough, and that trickles down and affects everybody in every facet of our economy. It adds a 10 to 30% cost increase, and that's the difference between you living a good life and you not making it, right there, by itself. That has to get fixed. Impact fees, I think, have a place, but impact fees have become the economic junk drawer of our economy. There are some who use those for everything and some who have overused that tool. We have to give autonomy and guardrails to our local leaders. Yes, we know each other very well. I often go places that others probably aren't used to, and I'm okay with that. But you have to have people who are willing to work with you both ways. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If I were rolling out the property tax debate and I were putting it out there, I would have sat with all 67 counties. I would have compared budgets, and we would have put the math out there up front, because that's where it's at, and we have a common sight picture. So yes, we'll work together, but I will not allow my principles to be eroded by policy that is not good for our way of life. I will not. I don't want people divided by race, by creed, by color. We are the land of opportunity regardless of where you came from. I do not want games being played. I want us to win, to work together, to solve problems together, and to show people that this is the greatest nation in the history of our planet. We're going to keep it that way. That's winning. So the next 4 years, I want to see the small businesses in this room grow. I want to see you increase your profit. I want to see your children want to follow in your shoes and own that business and move forward. That means we're winning. And yes, we'll work together. Yes, we can solve problems. But we also have to focus on simple things, simple tasks. Saving money on insurance. We have to find novel ways. Not everybody lives in a two-story home. Some people live in a trailer. We're going to have solved problems for those people because that cost is passed on to us in all forms and facets. We're going to have to deal with fraud. Fraud is the number one thing that kicks up our insurance costs, that drives things up. And in hurricanes, let me tell you, with that FEMA 50% rule, it is killing our communities because it's getting snatched up by big companies, and it's pricing everybody out of their opportunity in their home. And we're not going to have that. That's not right. It's killing small businesses because the permit to open up the streets taking 36 months, and you can't sustain that for 36 months if the people are not coming by. We have to be aware. We built a bridge in 3 days down in Sanibel. I was there. I don't want to hear what can't be done. I've been told many times that things were too far, too hard, but with the right attitude and people aligned, working together, anything can be done. Growing up in poverty, I was told I was poor white trash, and you and your family don't have an opportunity. I was told that more times than I can count. When I joined the Army, after wrecking my knee playing sports in college, I was told you can never be a Green Beret. You can't do those things because you're broken. I proved them wrong. When I got shot, blown up, and lost a leg, I was told you can't re-qualify because you have one leg. I proved them wrong. I ran against the mayor of Tampa's mother-in-law in a seat that historically Republicans don't win. I proved them wrong. And in 4 years in politics, I've gone from not in politics to lieutenant governor, and there are people who are really butthurt over that because that's not the game that's played. And we proved them wrong. Because the power is of the people. We solve problems. It's your vote, your voice, and your vote that matters, and we can make this happen. But we have to pledge to solve those problems. And here's where you can help specifically. If there are things that are a problem in the community, y'all gotta tell me. Let me ask you this. Do you want the government making stuff up on their own? That never works out good, man. The government is rarely the solution or the answer to a problem or a question, other than who actually started the problem to begin with. Right? We have to enable the free market. You guys got to be in our ear too. We got to have a conversation, and we can't solve that problem. Joseph, that was a great question, and I appreciate you very much.
All right.
Yeah, you got to wrap it.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you very. Cannot take any more. Sorry. All right, guys. It was my great pleasure to have you guys here tonight or this afternoon, and we're gonna wait for Dr. Wood Joseph. He should be here soon. And Governor, it was a great pleasure having you. But guess what? You and I have a lot in common. Proud veteran of the United States.
Appreciate you.
When I came to America, I was homeless, didn't have anything. And today, look at where I am.
That's right.
Speaking to you, shaking your hands. Anything is possible. All right, sir. All right, I'm on the side too.
All right, thank you.
You guys, you got a question?
No, not a question. Yeah, I don't know if the federal government has someone that he can send to represent him tomorrow. We will have a written meet for the local candidate.
Mm-hmm.
If you have someone that you can send to represent you, or if you are in town, you can be welcome to come tomorrow.
Thank you. Yes.
I'll get your information from Tuesday, and then we'll send you either a text or a phone call.
Okay.
Or if you want to get the information right now, where you did.
Yeah. That's, talk to Ms. Crystal, and we'll get that lined up.
Okay.
Guys, don't leave yet.
All right. Well, let me close it out by this, guys. If you want to learn more, go to my website. It's J4Florida. That's JAYFOR Florida.com. You have the pamphlets in front of you. And would love to earn your support, your trust, and your vote in this upcoming election. We can do this. We can win this. We can make sure the next 8 years are the greatest 8 years. Thank you, everybody.